cookie. And it is B free. This is what happens when you guys miss graveyard cars.
Coming to get you, Barbara.
This time on Graveyard Carz, Mark resolves to train the team on everything Barracuda, including a 1970 Plymouth Barracuda 3-speed 318 convertible,
Alyssa, I'll let you pop it up since you know what you're doing there.
a 1970 Plymouth Cuda 446 barrel 4-speed shaker hood car, a 1971 Cuda 330 horsepower 383 Super Commando, and a car rarely seen in the graveyard, a 1974 Cuda 318 2-barrel. In Springfield, Oregon, Mark Warman, together with his skilled ghouls,
It has been established that the unburied dead are coming back to life.
bring classic Mopar muscle cars back from the dead to look like they did the moment they left the factory floor.
Because of the obvious threat, this station will remain on the air day and night.
Hey there, Mark. I'm Tony D'Agostino from Tony's Mopar Parts, although you probably know that because I've been out here a dozen times probably already.
Hey, Tone.
This is back.
What are you doing out here?
Hey,
you
this
doing,
thing
buddy?
looks cool.
Yes.
Man, different in person, man. That's wild looking.
It's a beautiful rig. Did you see the pictures down at SEMA?
Yeah, I saw the pictures of it there. Couldn't make it, but
I assume you're here to check on your car?
I do have a car out here at Graveyard Carz that my wife and I, Cindy, got from Mark a couple of years ago, and it's been waiting in line. Yeah, I want to see how Cindy's car is doing. Hopefully you're working on it as expeditiously as you are on this.
Yeah. Did you say expeditiously?
As fast as you are. I don't want to confuse you.
Well, it's okay. No, I just want to make sure you're not trying to slip a big word in because you read the thesaurus. Exponentially? Remember Archie Bunker used to do that. He'd take two different words and he'd fuse them together. I'm from the streets. All right, whatever words I've learned on the streets, those are my words. You may not like them, but those are my words, okay? To sit there and read a thesaurus or try to practice to sound more intelligent, I just think, it's cute, you know. I don't know how they do it on the East Coast, but out here, we're more honest. You think that's being arrogant? Okay. How about hubristic? I would rather, if you're going to paint me with a brush, how about the hubristic brush? Tony, being a good friend of mine, he will watch through an episode before it airs, or actually back in the editing stages, just to make sure we're accurate on a lot of things. Not because I'm not accurate, but because in the heat of the moment, it's easy to make a mistake, right?
It is.
You know,
I'll give you that. It is.
It is. He's made them too.
Yes.
What we want to make sure we do is get the correct information out to the audience. They might be buying a car based on something. So,
Right.
you know, you never know. We're making a decision about their car.
And you can, and the film guys don't know.
They don't
Mopar
know. They
stuff.
can't correct
I
me.
mean, it's not their
Yep.
fault. They just don't know it.
So a while back we did the 4 Dodge Chargers, and you gotta admit, for 4 cars, 2 generations, very few mistakes, even under the pressure. So
Well, maybe
1 or 2 you had on it.
No.
Yeah.
I think I have arthritis after all. Everything I had to type to correct it.
What are you talking about?
They had to cut out so much of that show because there was
you didn't
too much.
cut anything out of there. That was
You couldn't get.
That was the whole edit. What would you cut? What would he find that I wouldn't? The bulge hood, which is still arguable. It's arguable. I bought a 71 Dodge Charger 500 with a factory hood on it. It was a bulge hood.
But it wasn't put there from the factory.
Okay.
It doesn't. Well, to be honest with you, you thought it was supposed to be.
Try to be
next
honest
month.
with me. That'd be great.
Well, I got a call from Will telling me you were going to go over some Cudas. And instead of me looking at them after the fact,
Thanks, Will.
and spending way too much time.
Tipping him off about the Cudas.
So I called Tony once I found out we were going to do the Cudas because I'm not knowledgeable on these cars. So any good information I could use to get at Mark is huge.
Yeah, what? That's great. Thank you. Now he's going to just torture me with it like he does everything.
I'm saving you.
I love the fact that Tony came out here just to correct Mark, because that's real stuff. I mean, he really comes out here, he really puts Mark in place, and he gets Mark a little flustered even. So that's always a real treat for us that work here.
Getting corrected is torture. It's saving, it's helping you learn.
I don't need any help learning. What you do is you go down this pigeonhole so far that you just lose people.
Whatever they are you're going over.
Yeah.
I didn't want you spewing any more BS. So I'm here to
You
save
don't mean
myself.
the Cuda model, do you?
Sure, we could say that. So, but I'm here to save my fingers from typing away and to save these guys from having to cut up another, mark segment.
No, you're a genuine guy. Hey, so in Delaware, wherever it is you're from, that side of the country, TH makes a D sound? All right, so Alyssa chose out of the 4 Cudas that we have, Barracuda and Cudas. Watch this guy, he's waiting to worm his way in. The 1970 Plymouth Barracuda, 318 factory 3-speed convertible top car. So we're gonna give her a little education like we did a while back on the Chargers, just talk about some of the things that are available on the car, what it could have been, what it is. See, she's got her notebook, so that's good. You got your notebook?
Yep.
He doesn't need a notebook.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's got it all in his head.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, that's fine, we can do that.
I'm here to save my fingers from doing a lot of typing.
One mistake, and you had to go back to the parts books to find it, so that's fine.
No, that was to finally prove it to you.
Because I had a
in black and white.
1971 Dodge Charger, all original paint with a bullet hood on it. Maybe Chrysler just made a mistake. It's possible.
Yeah, I have a Duster with a Superbird wing on it.
Yeah.
I think that was factoring.
I got a 70 GTX with a Daytona wing on it, and it's the same color as the car.
Yeah.
Okay, 1970 Plymouth Barracuda, 318, 5th digit of the VIN.
G.
One of 125 built with a 3-speed manual transmission. Now it's got a 4-speed and a 340 in it now, but originally it was a 318 with a 3-speed alphanumeric code on the fender tag for
D13.
D13. That's right. You're making sure you're paying attention out there. So read me off the VIN.
B.
B like
H.
Barracuda. H like high price class.
The difference is between a Barracuda and a Cuda, I explain to people because more people are familiar with it. It's the difference between like a Firebird and a Trans Am. A Firebird is the base model, the 2-door sporty car, but not performance, whereas the Trans Am is performance. So it's the same thing. A Barracuda is still the 2-door hardtop car, but it wasn't the performance model. So it didn't have the Hemi or 6-barrel.
27. Do you want me to go slow? Do you
That's
want
a
to do
convertible, right?
Yes.
Can you read it over again, honey?
BH27G0B283725.
Little Hamtramck car.
We're all E-body convertibles.
Really? I didn't know that. Huh, that's so interesting. They didn't build any convertible Barracudas down in Los Angeles?
Did they?
No. Right, just making sure you're paying attention there. All right, they also didn't put any Hemis in them down there.
Right.
They were all Hamtramcks, so.
Most of the special stuff came out of Detroit.
Yeah, not all of it, but a lot of it. You can still get a 446 barrel out of LA with a 4-speed in it. Got one right there next to it. Anyway, that's not the point. Point being, you chose this car, why, Alyssa?
Well, for the obvious reasons, it's a convertible and
It's a convertible, so you can see yourself driving around with your blonde hairs all straggly,
No,
like
no.
back when we were driving the GTX. Remember that? Her hair was just flying around like a bee's nest.
I didn't have a hair tie.
Being a convertible is rare in itself. A lot of them don't get restored as the 318 cars. Many of them are restored as a clone or a tribute car, where they'll put a bigger engine in it, put a shaker hood or the rally hood, and dress it up to look like a Cuda, even though it was born as a 318 Barracuda.
What do you like about the interior? Talk to me about the interior.
Pistol grip.
Pistol grip shifter, that's right. Now, if it was a 3-speed, it would just be a straight stick with a ball on top.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
I'm sure it is. How about the pedal dress-up kit? Probably not on the fender tag, but I like that he added them. AM 8-track radio. Bucket seats?
C16. No, that's console, C55. C55.
Good save, Tone Meister General. You don't get questioned like this back there much, right? Back there, you're the man.
Neither do you.
Everybody, well, nobody messes with me.
Well, back where I am, they know this stuff.
Oh,
They'll call me on it.
Okay, so everybody, he hates people on the West Coast. We're
No,
idiots.
No, it's just the people you surrounded yourself with know what they know.
Which is
They
nothing,
don't know
right?
what you know.
I'm just kidding.
Now, Alyssa, if I asked you to put that top down, what's the first thing you would do?
Is it electric?
Well, I thought they were all electric.
I thought that. See, that's why I was
No.
confused.
No, manual standard, whereas
Was it an option to get electric?
Yeah, electric's an option, yeah.
Only on the Barracudas, on the Challengers, power tops were automatic. P37, I believe, is the code for that.
Yeah.
Now, if I had P31, what would I have on that same car?
Power windows?
Huh, pretty good. Not bad, not bad. Let's take a look under the hood of this little critter, see what's going on under here. You got a spider hanging off your forehead.
Ah, where?
It's a little one. Well, you guys are just crazy.
This is our 1964 Dodge A100. This is the one that we built in 3 months that Mark thought was a bad idea to do. I brought it to his attention 6 months prior to us doing it. 6 months later, he comes up, says it's a great idea to build it.
The little dead wagon. Check it out.
We painted it this gorgeous red. It's got a blowing 426 Hemi on it. It's literally a stunning rig from top to bottom. And this is why I chose this as our corpse of the week.
Take a look under the hood there. Alyssa, I'll let you pop it up since you know what you're doing there.
Of course.
Go ahead. There you go. Now, why do you suppose this one doesn't have the J54 bulge hood?
I don't know if it was an option in 70. I think 71 was the first year on a Barracuda.
That you could get a bulge hood. I think 71 or 72 was.
I know 71.
71, it was an option even if you didn't have a BS code.
Yes.
The BH or a BP.
Maybe even later on a 70.
Might be right.
Maybe late 70 model.
Yep.
This is a late 70. You could tell by those 3 indents on the firewall.
And I don't know for sure if this hood's right because it also has the crush zone.
It's a late car.
How do you know it's a late car? Somebody could have put the hood on it. Why would you put a flat hood on one?
Because she read off the VIN.
I know, but maybe. Okay, hang on. You're getting crazy. Okay, March 20th of 1970. Take a look at this fender tag right here.
Aren't one of these supposed to not be painted like this one?
Yeah, somebody's painted them.
No, not.
Because they only held them in?
No. They are supposed to be painted on this car. He's getting confused with Lynch Road.
Oh, actually, he's right on it. No.
Of course I'm right.
No, that's not true. I've seen this right here. Okay, no. You are incorrect, sir.
You're saying that all Hamtramck cars didn't have painted data tags?
On this, no, the fender tags are painted.
Okay.
The screws that hold them in, normally speaking, this one would be painted, and these two would be the nickel finish.
You're talking about the screws or the tags?
The screws.
Okay,
Yeah.
No, the tag. I thought you meant the tags.
Oh, sorry.
You're excused. He's so no.
Now take a look at this.
Yeah.
He did put the good exhaust manifold from a 70 on there.
Yeah, it's the 70 style and number, but the 70s more had any numbers than Audis. See how that has the number sticking out? The part number?
You're saying that they were stamped in?
Yeah, they
were indented into the
they were
manifold?
cast in.
On 70?
On 70s, yeah.
So is that more like a 68 and 69?
An early 70.
Total number of 1970 Barracuda 318 3-speeds built, Alyssa.
125.
They're all rare. They didn't make a lot of them. E-body, which is Cuda and Challenger, the E-body convertibles are some of the more valuable Mopars out there. 71 Hemi Cuda convertible is the most valuable Mopar.
First 6 characters of the VIN, Tony.
BH 27 GOB.
Is it an O?
It's 1970.
Yeah,
Zero.
that's why we call it a 0.
Oh, gosh.
That's what you do to me. He sits back all the time.
No.
Oh,
that's
my
not
gosh.
what I do.
Yeah, I'll say,
matter.
okay, in 72.
Oh, this hood was available. No, it wasn't. Oh, that's the same thing.
Okay, so maybe I just had a little seizure or a hallucination.
That's what that was, I think. Yes,
that I
that was
owned an
a
original
seizure.
car. I'll tell you what's cool about the little 70 Barracudas and the 71s. 70 and 71. The only 2 years the E-body Barracuda, not the A-body earlier ones, the E-body Barracudas were available with a convertible top.
70 and 71.
70 and 71.
Mark, I got to step in. You said available with the convertible top. We're available as a convertible. It's not just a convertible. It's really a whole model of the car. I mean, a whole body style.
That's what I'm talking about right there. It's
just
a convertible. It doesn't matter if it had
available
an
with the
extra
convertible
torque plate
top.
and rocker reinforcements in it. I know all those things.
You know,
So when you punched that you wanted a convertible on your car,
it wasn't an option like a vinyl top. If you had said, oh, this was the year it was available with a vinyl top, that would be correct. It's not available with the convertible top. It's a convertible. That's part of what the car is.
Okay.
It's like it's available as a Barracuda.
as I was saying, you couldn't get a Barracuda convertible or a Cuda convertible in 1972. That okay?
That is
That made with you? However, there was one made in a very famous television show.
incorrect.
Made. about it.
Made. I thought we were talking about what Chrysler made.
I'm just saying
Not what
one
George
was
Barris
made
made.
that was very famous, and what was it?
The Brady Bunch car.
In 1972, they wanted Mrs. Brady to have a convertible car. Is that true?
That's correct.
And they wanted to show off the new Barracuda platform.
Correct.
With the round tail lights and the ugly grille and all that stuff.
Grill's not really ugly.
What else wasn't available in 1972 that was available in 1971 on a Barracuda? Go.
6-barrel, Hemi.
6-barrel and Hemi, that's right. You know the answer, just shoot them straight out there.
Oh, it's endless.
How about a Dana?
Dana one came behind a 6-barrel and Hemi. So therefore,
You couldn't
ran
get a 444
a 4-barrel.
Okay, would you like to apologize now to the audience? Or how about a 1971 Barracuda, or excuse me, Cuda, with a 444 barrel and a 4-speed?
Automatically comes with a Dana.
Oh, it does? I didn't even think they built a 444 barrel in 71.
I didn't think they did.
Then why did you just say
Because
they did?
you just said they did.
I did. I said in 1971 they built this, and you agreed with it. That was your see. Gets down to the real numbers, and that's what we're talking about. See, VS23. Yeah, I got a mile of them, no convertible tops, right? What about a Shaker N96? Could you get that in 72?
No, gosh, no.
No, hell no. Hell's
No rubber bumpers.
no rubber bumpers.
That even though it wasn't available in 1970, 71, oh, sorry. The
What's
Rally,
the alphanumeric code for the Rally instrument cluster? A62. 70 to 72 used an 8,000 RPM tack. 73 on up used a seatbelt warning light and a 7,000 RPM tack. Go ahead.
That's correct. The Rally gauges were an option in 70 and 71 on Cudas. I'm not positive, but they were standard.
Part of the BS23 tack.
All right, guys, I have a question for you, and I already gave you the answer in the Corpse of the Week. How long did it take us to build the A100? 120 days, 90 days, or 30 days? Stay tuned for the answer after the break. All right, guys, welcome back. The question was, how long did it take us to build the A100? 90 days of every day, every night, straight, trying to get this thing built. If Mark would have let us start 6 months ahead of time, it wouldn't have been a problem, but that's just not how Mark works.
So when we were out earlier, Cousin Dougie picked the 1970 Plymouth Cuda 440 6-barrel 4-speed, black exterior TX9, black interior, no hockey stick. That was an option in 1970.
This car belongs to Bill Goldberg, so I'm sure he'll be doing the right thing with the car and doing whatever he has to keep it running right, because he's a hands-on guy from what I know.
In addition, he likes it because of the cool hood on it. What is that cool hood, Cousin Dougie?
Ram Air? Shaker?
Whew.
Which one?
We're gonna go with your second answer. I like it.
Shaker hood, 446.
Doug loves all cars, in fairness. He's not just a Mopar guy, so that was a little bit of a GTO reference there earlier. That's okay. And the alphanumeric code for a Shaker hood is N, like November, 96. So
96.
So with that, would you like to learn a little bit more about the car that you chose?
Yeah.
A lot of people like the black cars, triple black they call them, if it's a black top and black interior. And the 4-speed's always a plus. They bring more money, and they're more fun to drive and bang gears in. And they're also pretty rare too, being a 446 barrel. They didn't make that many of them.
There seems to always be more automatics than 4-speeds made, which is one of the things that makes the 4-speed so desirable. In this case, there were more 4-speeds made than automatics.
I think more in the later years, the 4-speeds came around more.
They were almost all automatics by the time you got into the mid and late 70s. Okay, well with that, let's go to school. Pay no attention to Tony, he's just trying to bogart the camera. All right, Little Red Rooster. Read me off the vehicle identification number, 1 digit at a time, please.
B.
Stands for Barracuda. Okay.
S.
Special price class, in this case, means it is a Cuda model versus a Barracuda model, the performance version.
And just so everybody out there knows, Mark's 100% correct, but people, when you have a Cuda that says BS23, it doesn't mean your car is special. It's a special price class. I get a lot of calls, I have a special Cuda.
Because the S. It doesn't matter. Take a open on that door, and I want you to tell me what you like about what you see inside there.
Oh my goodness, look
Just
at this.
tell me what all you like. I know it's the creme de la creme.
Yeah. Rally Dash.
A62. How many RPM tack?
1,000.
Speedometer goes to?
150.
Tell me about the other gauges that are in there.
Oh, the tack?
Well, we just talked about the tack.
I mean,
okay.
the clock. The clock.
Okay, there is a clock in there.
Yeah, there's a clock.
Very good. That's part of the A62 rally.
I know what time it is.
What do the 4 gauges tell you in there?
Oh boy. Fuel.
Fuel, yeah. What level your fuel might be up here, high or down low.
Temperature.
Temperature, if maybe the car's hot like you back when you were a kid. He was a stub muffin back in the day. Running around in his little white pants with the little star on the back pocket. That was cute.
That wasn't me.
Well, that was me. I had puka shell necklace too. And I wore bracelets. I was a cool kid. I didn't have everything handed to me like you two. Spooners. All right, what else do you like the looks of in there? What does this dash have that your 70 Barracuda Grand Coupe had?
3 speakers.
3 speakers, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, you like the bucket seats?
I do.
Center console? What was
like
that number again?
C16.
C16, just throw that right out there when you hear it.
C16.
You ever see the movie It's a Beautiful Mind? That guy that knew all the numbers and he could solve problems and everything, but it turns out he was just nuttier than fruitcake and something was wrong with him.
Yeah, I just
Called The
watched that
Beautiful-
recently.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah, it turned out the guy was a genius, but he was such a genius that none of it really happened. He made it all
He
up.
sort of went like, yeah.
I have a feeling that's where I'm going to be. It was standard on a 426 Hemi on the Cudas. However, it wasn't standard on the Challengers, the JS23, JS27 cars. But you could get the N96 on a JS23 or JS27. You just had to add it. Where the BS23, BS27 would have automatically came if you had an E74 engine. All right, let's close the door, take a look at some other features on the 1970 Cuda, and let's make this one happen for the money, baby. On our 70 Cuda, hood pin tie downs, we know those are standard. Do you know what the number is for those?
J45.
Very good. And what are variable speed wipers in 1970 to 1972, later called 3-speed wipers? What's the alpha number?
J25.
J25, that's right. 20 coming in there. Okay, now where are the road lamps?
Missing.
This is Bill Goldberg's car. So all 1970 Cudas had road lamps from the factory. It was part of the package, the Cuda package. Now you see there's a red hockey stick stripe on it. Never from the factory was a red hockey stick stripe available. The black one was optional, but that was never, ever factory. Because the red really pops.
Oh, yeah, it looks better, you know.
It looks better, but now, 50 years later, it's cool to see something, a silhouette of a black decal against a black car. All right, let's pop it open. So this is the...
What the?
Yeah.
You talking about East Coast people?
That's not anything West Coast. That's him. It's like,
What?
where's
You collect
Waldo?
mannequins?
Where?
No.
What? That's what. Doug, let's go over this together. Set that there. I'm gonna put my glasses on. You wouldn't mind if I just set this mannequin arm somewhere. Excuse me, Tony. So let's just take a look at this together since you have the professors here. V0E, I'll let you take that. V, the V represents the engine size.
440.
6 barrel.
6-pack.
6 pack on a Dodge. Okay, the 0?
Same exact.
Same exact everything, just
a
called
different
differently.
decal. I'm not the biggest fan of 6-barrel engines just because they can be troublesome down the road when the car sits. You have 3 carburetors to worry about. Sometimes they're good and sometimes they end up being troublesome. But you know, they're still neat and sexy when you open the hood and you see the 3 2-barrels, but unfortunately with the shaker, it's covering it all up anyway, so might as well be a 4-barrel. I didn't want anything to come across the wrong way and get on the wrong end of Goldberg's side.
Do you have any questions about this particular car that you would like to talk about? Anything on this car that you like the looks of?
I'm good.
Nothing? Now, Doug's Barracuda Grand Coupe had rocker moldings, but they weren't those. What's the nickname for those? Fish gill or?
Fish gills, yeah.
Fish gills. But his, being a BP, had just a piece of
horizontal lines in it. Yeah,
Right.
It was heavy cast, mate.
Yeah. Doug, do you know where your old car is?
California?
Yeah. Someday we're going to get that car, and him and I are going to relive the old days. I'm gonna get my burnt orange Charger. It's long gone, but I'll have to build a tribute. He'll have his original one. What was your very first Mopar?
I still got it, my Roadrunner convertible.
So you'll have to come out and we'll just have a summer of fun. Cruising. Instead of Corvette summer, it'll be Mopar summer. Imagine that little car sitting there with those factory dual exhaust tips through the valance. Me sitting there in my 1970 Charger.
318 with dual exhaust.
Not from the factory. Well, I said from the factory. I didn't mean from the factory, obviously. Just let's go to the next car.
All right, guys, it's 1971, beautiful summer night. You got two choices. Do you want to cruise the street in this gorgeous 1968 turbine bronze Charger, or would you rather cruise the street in this 1971 Cuda with the white top, white billboard, white interior? All right, you make the call by going to graveyardcars.com, Facebook, and Twitter, and we will reveal the results next week, live by me, because I get more viewers than Mark, so I'll reveal it next Friday.
So far, Tony crashed the graveyard gates to help out Mark with his Mopar fact-checking.
Alphanumeric code for
D13.
Covering a 1970 Barracuda 3-speed convertible and Bill Goldberg's 446 barrel 4-speed shaker hood 1970 Cuda. Still to come, the lessons continue as the Mavens of Mopar showcase a 1971 Cuda 330 horsepower 383 Super Commando and a rarely seen 1974 Cuda 318 two-barrel.
All right, guys, I just wanted to take a minute to give you a quick tip when it comes to tinting colors. All of these Mopars were done back in the 70s with PPG paint. The colors that they use right now still match just as good today. So we have a car right now in the shop that was painted and it wasn't done with PPG paint. I was able to go through a book, find a color that was close, I knew I could tint to make it work. It's very critical that after you add a toner to it, you take the time, stop, spray it out like I do every time, go through it, hold it to the car, make sure it looks good. If it doesn't look good, you come back, add a little bit more, spray it out again until you get your color correct. Then once your color's good, you're good to go. I hope that tip helps, and with that, I'm gonna get back to work.
Right now, we are about to go over the 1971 Cuda. First four digits of the VIN.
I don't know which one we're going over.
Well, all Cudas in 70 to 70.
Do they, Tony?
Excuse me?
God, it's like watching Alfred Hitchcock back there.
They all start with BS2.
Need to do the little silhouette of him walking into
Cudas.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, so
He's a teacher.
well, I try to teach you too, but you don't.
you don't insult me.
We're going over the
Here, you do.
1971 Cuda BS23 car. This is an N code, as in November. That means it is a 330 horsepower 383 Super Commando.
In 71, N code means that. In 70, it'd be 335 horse.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes, 335 horse in 70.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So he picked this car. Why?
You told me to?
No, I didn't tell you to. You came out earlier and you picked that car. Why'd you pick that car?
I like the louvers on them.
You like the louvers and the fenders.
Yep.
What about the grill? You prefer it to the 70 grill?
Not really.
Not really.
Because that has that stripper glitter that's always a pain in the butt.
Stripper glitter, stripper glitter. How about the taillights? You like those a little better than the 70, don't you?
I'd have to look.
Why'd you pick the 71?
Doug took the 70, so I had to take the 71.
Well, last time you took the 68, so Doug had to take the 69. All right. We are dealing with an FC7.
Excuse me. Why does the car show a lot of GB5? Oh!
Oh, because it's been repainted. Ow! Yeah, American pork wolf in London. Trust me, it's an FC7. What color is FC7?
In violet.
In violet and a Plymouth.
Yes.
Good. Thought you'd fall for that one.
Oh, yeah.
It's an in violet car, black interior, 383, Super Commando. Alphanumeric code on the fender tag is
D32.
D32.
To me, the color of the car is the second most important thing because it's what you see. I mean, no matter what's under the hood or what transmission it is, when you look at a car, you see what kind of car it is, and then you see what color it is. So to me, color is very important.
Notice how they put the Plymouth emblem up here and they didn't do that in 70? That's a very hard to find emblem. Nobody's reproducing that right now. Yep. Okay, Willie, open up the door to your mystery date. Remember that? Remember that game? Mystery date? You remember it, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, go around through the passenger's door.
Hey, look behind that VIN sticker. What color is that now?
Hang on a second here. Hang on a second.
It looks like GB5 again. Look at the pinch weld in there.
True or false, guys? Our A100 is painted flame red. Stay tuned for the answer after the break. Hey guys, welcome back. Is the A100 painted flame red? Well, that's false. Pay attention and you would have already known this.
Hey, look behind that VIN sticker. What color FC7 is that now?
Hang on a second here. Hang on a second.
Look at the pinch weld in there.
I was sure this was a purple car.
He's wrong a lot more than I ever thought he would be.
I thought this was a purple car.
I think he's gonna say I make him nervous.
Oh, well. Hang on here. It's B5. Why did I think that was purple?
To be consistent.
So it is, it's not a purple car, it's a blue car. Well, I apologize. Let me explain what happens here.
That's very good of you.
I do. Unlike some people, I accept that I made a mistake and I apologize for that.
Mark doesn't admit he's wrong very often because it's only us. He could come out and tell us something and we don't have the knowledge that he does. So you never hear him admit it. He just finds a way to spin it, some excuse after another, trying to see if Tony's slipping at all. So he'll never actually admit that often he's wrong. The only time you hear him admit anything wrong is when Tony's close.
It wasn't intentional. I thought, we brought this car in over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. I could have swore the guy said it was plumb crazy, in violet, if you will. Now, there are 108 cars on the parking lot.
I understand.
And I do sometimes, and I'll tell you the truth, you want to hear what's really crazy? That blue looks purple to me. I swear to God, I do not see blue or purple. They're all the same hue. So anyway, good job, Tony. Tony's been right quite a bit today, and that's okay. That's okay, it happens. I can accept that. Okay, let's take a little gander around this critter. Air conditioning. In 70, you got the 3-nipple breather if you had N95. In 71, it was on all of them. Check that, the return line that goes up to the carburetor, Tony. Pretty amazing, actually, considering the car's been painted.
I see it's got the original PCV over there.
Yeah, look at the KV.
Oh, nice.
Just kind of unheard of.
Very nice.
You'd like me to take that off, replace it with a new KV, and then give you that one, wouldn't you?
Sure.
I know how you operate, Tony. I know how my man operates. It's funny, it's pretty unmolested when it comes to the engine. What do you like about that engine, Will? It's big?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You know I don't know all this stuff.
What do you think about that air cleaner? Is that the correct air cleaner for this year?
Insult me, but it's just not working
I'm not
this
bringing
time
you out here
because
to
Tony's
insult
here.
you.
That's what you do.
Is that the correct air cleaner for 71?
I couldn't tell you.
See, it's better to say you don't know instead of claiming you do know.
That's what I always say, exactly. I would rather admit that I don't know something than guess and be wrong. Trust me, it's an FC7, so it's not a purple car, it's a blue car. Now the A62, that's a good thing, right?
Yes.
Okay. You agree?
I agree. If Tony says it's good,
rally
it's good.
gauges, so.
C16, that's good. C55s, of course.
Console buckets.
Couldn't really have C16 unless you had C55s.
Right.
N41, N42.
Dual and tips.
Right tips, yeah. Okay, well, last thing to look at, your taillights. I know you don't know the difference. The opening in the rear body panel is exactly the same on the 70 and the 71, the opening, but look at the actual difference in the taillights. See how they moved the backup light inboard and made it larger than that one right there. Now, personally, I think that's a better looking taillight.
See, if this is the way you did things when we come out here to teach me, that would be fine.
What do I do when we come out here?
You insult me, call me names, pick on me.
You're an idiot.
See, See, now he's back to the...
Since nobody,
You asked for it.
Since nobody chose the 1974 Cuda, are we done here? Which one would you pick, Tone, if you could? I mean, right now.
Out of these four?
Out of these 4 cars, which one would you take right now?
Hands down.
The 6-barrel Bill Goldberg.
Yep.
Big Bill Goldberg thinks he's so tough. He ain't knocked horns with me. Better hope he doesn't. Been working out. Getting huge. Okay, so we've gone over all the other choices of the ghouls, and just like with our 68 to 74, nobody chose the 74.
This next car we're looking at, it's a 1974 Cuda, and it's a 318 car. That's the base engine. Even though it's a Cuda, the performance model, it just started off with the 318 2-barrel.
I'm not as nearly as up on these things as I should be. There aren't that many of them made, you'll find that out. And I think Tony may even actually know more than I do on the 74s because he has to deal with the parts a lot.
Yeah.
But neither one of us are overly confident on this particular car, but that's why I wanted to do it. I wanted to go around it, talk about it, how many were made, and one thing I will say before we get started is the Cuda, Barracuda, actually still is a decent looking car. I'm not a huge fan of the round tail lights, but if I had to choose those over those square ones on the Challenger, let's just take a look and see what we got. So this particular car is an actual Cuda package car, all right? So it should still be the BS.
Oh, yeah.
BS23G4B. They weren't building any in LA in 74, were they? I bet they weren't.
That I don't know, but I believe it was like a half-year run. I don't think the Cuda
somewhere
went the whole
around
year.
December or something.
You know, or maybe even a little bit later, but still, it wasn't a full year, model year run. And it was only the 2 engines, the 318 and the 360.
360,
you know?
right.
No more Hemis, no more 6-packs. We were heading more towards economy. The only engine option that year was a 364 barrel. It was a pretty good running engine. It was 20 cubic inch more than the 340, and the 318 2-barrel is not really a performance engine, but it gave you the appearance package.
And the insurance was killing them because the kids were going out squirreling around in 6-barrels and Hemis, and
that's why they downgraded the horsepowers too
on poles and everything else. It's still got a nice looking stripe. I think it's a nice looking stripe for 74 compared to what it could be.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's okay. It's a rally dash car.
The rally gauges became standard. They threw a little bit more at it because you could get so much little otherwise. You know, all the good options were gone, like we spoke about earlier.
Hemis, 6-packs.
They were leaning more and more towards sticker packages and lack of performance.
Right.
And you know,
going for the looks
years
and
ago,
the creature features.
We thought the 72 and newer Cudas were just total junk crap. We don't care about them. But now looking back today, they do have their place. You know?
They do. So we know that in 73, they went from an 8,000 RPM tack down to the 7,000 RPM tack. And then they put the seatbelt warning light in the right-hand side.
Yeah, but also what changed from 71 to 72?
The location of the resets.
The reset knobs, yes.
Yeah. Same door trim panels, yes or no?
Yeah, same interior panels, the same. Look at where the rear seatbelts come through.
Oh, yeah.
The shoulder harness.
This is the first 74 I've ever worked on.
That's a 74 only rear interior panel.
Let's take a look under the hood. Let's take a look under the hood.
This car we're looking at is a 1974 Cuda, and it's a 318 car.
Look at that radiator.
Yeah, 19-inch. Well, all 318's got a 19-inch, but they used a 22-inch hole with a spacer.
I see. Yeah, I got it.
Like this even has one of those knock sensors on the side of the air cleaner.
Yep. What kind of codes you got there, T?
Let's see. Okay.
KT5. Oh boy. Hang on. Let me get my book. I got one.
I'm very familiar with the car itself as far as equipment options and what's on the car. What I'm not as familiar with is the codes, because the coding on the data tag changed a lot. But we got E44 for the engine code. Not too many cars here like that, but that's what?
I was just going to say, I wrote these down the other day. So the total 1970 BH23, BH27 BPs, the convertible Grand Coupes and the Coupes, and all Cudas total, with Hemis, everything, 55,499 cars built.
Yeah.
Total in 74, 11,734. That's a long fall from glory. What's the paint code?
KT5.
KT5. Sienna.
After 71, the high impact colors were decreased. A lot of them weren't, most of them weren't carried beyond 71.
See, you had Sienna crayons, didn't you, in your 64 pack? I didn't have that. Ah, dang it.
But this is a March 18th, so they did production on the Cuda. Did go later. You know what I think it was? I think the whole production line of E-body stopped early. But
that's a great point. I never noticed that.
And it's funny too.
I always thought it was
318 is the code, March 18th. But,
okay, bumper guards, hitties.
Standard 73 and 4. They went to the bumpers that moved away from the body. Starting in 73, it was mandatory. They had these big, huge bumper guards, front and rear, which pushed the bumpers away from the car and used a 1 or 2 inch wide filler between the bumper and the body of the car. And that was all done for safety concerns too. It was the government, requirements.
That's that 5 mile an hour thing where they didn't want to damage the car, just the bumper at 5.
Yeah. So 72 Cuda is really the best looking of the last 3 years.
Because it doesn't have the guards
of the bumper.
or the filler.
It doesn't have the, right. Otherwise than that, it's essentially the same car.
Let's just walk back and look at the taillights real quick.
Sure.
Now it's funny, they call that the M88 molding, the deck and quarter extension moldings. But aren't those the exact same moldings that Grand Coupe had?
Yeah, Grand Coupes had them first.
Yep.
And then they became a part of the Cuda package.
But a real Cuda in 70 and 71 had the racetrack all the way around.
Yep. But they still had the black and rear body panel,
And did you see where they changed the Cuda from the right-hand side over to the left-hand side? And they still kept the by Plymouth, which they did use in 71. That one's still on that car.
Because the taillights changed, look how further over the key is. Because the guard that's inside the trunk is a lot shorter on 72 to 4 than on this car.
Doesn't need to be as long as that relay rod would be that much shorter.
That's probably why the emblem got moved.
So that they could make it a shorter.
Well, it'd be so tight there.
So my little friend here, Mr. Tony D'Agostino, thank you for going over these with me, asked, now you got to admit this is true, I didn't make it up, that we have dinner tonight and watch Hollywood Nights in the theater. He's been wanting me to watch Hollywood Nights.
Mark has never seen Hollywood Nights. That was a movie that'd be perfect for him.
And he suggested Philly steak sandwiches.
You suggested pizza, and I said okay.
It's going to start raining, so can we go inside now?
Absolutely.
That would be the best. So since I own all the editing, we're going to cut out all my mistakes upstairs, right? You know that. Okay, good. Well, even though I wasn't expecting you to come out, I am glad that you came out because the Cuda thing was very interesting with the 74.
The same option has a different code.
Yeah.
From
the bucket seats.
Yeah.
The bucket seats alone. I mean, why change that?
The mirrors. I think there were three mirror codes on the car.
Yeah.
But you needed me there after the Charger deal. I didn't want to have to go through all that typing and editing and put all those guys in the film process to.
Yeah, you're a real savior. Thanks, man, because of the bulge hood. Yeah.
Well, that's why Will called me because I needed to come out.
Will's a troublemaker.
And we.
Okay. Will's whole job is just to try to wind me up and make me, because every time now when he has a question, he go, you want me to call Tony? Why don't you call Tony and ask him if the FC7's right? He didn't even know what FC7 is. He doesn't know anything about body and paint.
You always seem to blame somebody for being a troublemaker. I remember you said that in the past.
Because if you look, you've known me now for, 8 years? 7 or 8 years?
Yeah, I've been out here.
Am I a troublemaker?
Why would you do this? Why are you laughing? It's coming together nice.
Listen, I'm sorry.
See, he did it again. Did you get a name tag, George? Uh-oh. Yep.
No, you say other people are being troublemakers.
They are.
You always have somebody to blame it on.
Because there's always somebody to blame.